All right, so we back with another episode of Life with Albinism, and we have two new guests here today, and we want them to introduce themselves and talk about how living with albinism has been for them. So we'll start with you, and then we'll go to you.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Takim. Nobody calls me that. That's my name. Living with albinism has been a long journey. Like, I'll be 32 in October, and it's just long. It's been a long journey. It's been mixed with, like, regret and disdain and, like, I hate
disdain. Like
hate it. And then I just had to embrace it. Then I went from that to embracing it and loving me and loving who I am and embracing it and walking in it, walking proud. And
so what were some of the things you hated about it initially?
I hated about it because my family's black and I wasn't black.
So not looking the part of everyone else in your family.
It don't matter how light skinned my family is. Like, I was the lightest, and so I would go around my cousins and go to family reunions, or we take family photos, and it's like, oh, there go Ty. So I'm like, dang, there go them red eyes.
Turn the flash on.
Like, yo, you know, learned that? I was like, yo, take pictures with no flash.
Yeah.
No flash.
Your eyes get super
red. Don't shine it directly in my face.
So, how did you transition into loving it and loving yourself? You know, because there's some people out here that might feel the same way you do. So, what would you say to them to help them, to coach them to go from that hatred to then loving themselves?
Honestly, it took two things. The first thing was, like, I had this girlfriend in like 8th grade, and for real, I had this girlfriend in 8th grade, and she was like, I would always be like, very much so, I would like body shame myself, talk really crazy about myself. Like, anybody gave me a compliment, I wouldn't believe it, I wouldn't take it.
Oh, you would reject it?
I would reject it. I'd be very rejectful. I'd be very defensive. I'm like, whatever. And she really gave me positive reinforcement by telling me, like, nah, you can do this. You can play ball. You can run track. You can do whatever. Like, I believe in you. Like, there's nothing different about you. You just look different. So what? I look different. I don't look like everybody else. Right. And I used to have all these different comebacks, but you ain't gotta wear sunblock every day, and you ain't gotta. She's like, okay, but you ain't gotta do this. And I'm like, oh, you got struggles too. My bad.
You right.
Right. And then the second part was, like, I came across Strong Arm Steady. Strong Arm Steady is a hip hop group, and they have a dude in their group named Crondon. He has albinism.
Yeah, he's the same one that plays Black Lightning.
Plays on Black Lightning, right?
That was great.
Name? Yeah, his name is Crondon.
Yeah, he's a rapper and an actor.
Yeah,
great actor.
So I came across that, and I was like, wow, he's out here respected by other people. And nobody says Crondon, the albino rapper. They say Crondon.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's fire to me. Like, I really like that.
Yeah.
So, like, that inspired me to just be like, I don't have to be tired of albino kids. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you? Introduce yourself, and how was living with albinism been for you?
Okay, my name is Marlon Smith. Born and raised in Jamaica, Queens, New York. And being a person with albinism, for me, I have a brother that looks just like me. In my family, if you or anyone talk sideways about me and my brother, you got a free ass whooping coming to you.
Oh, that's a fact.
Free ass whooping.
So you had a lot of family members that
you don't understand. Listen.
You
we were like diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mess with them. Okay? I got my mother has 9 brothers and sisters. My father has 16 brothers and sisters.
Okay, so,
yeah,
so 100 aunts and uncles.
Mine, out of all that, 2 kids with albinism.
Yeah.
God mess with them. So us coming up, we treated like prima donna.
Yeah.
Mind you, we grew up in Brooklyn. Bedford Stuyvesant, 962 Myrtle Avenue.
Right.
So everybody knew us.
Yeah.
Everyone knew who our parents were. They treated us no different.
Yeah, same.
Okay? We out in the street, we playing baseball, basketball, whatever.
Yeah.
You would never know we were different.
Yeah.
Okay? The only thing you knew is that
we look different.
we look different,
That's it.
and we shaking our head when we reading something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Eyes.
Okay? And your eyes. But what's crazy about it, we got into music.
Yeah.
Okay? First we started going to Turtle Bay Music School. Never forget it. In Manhattan, we were living in Queens. We had to take the F train, get in the front car of F train, and watch the train go through the tunnels.
Yeah.
Going to Turtle Bay Music School. We learned drums, we learned guitar, we learned xylophones, we learned every instrument there was. Until somebody said, "Quack, quack, quack,"
On a
on
turntable.
the turntable. Bye-bye Turtle Bay Music School. Gone. We were straight. Back in the day, when you did, if you were in a crew, you were a rapper or a DJ, you were mostly DJs. It was like everybody in the mother was a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had like 10 DJs,
Okay.
maybe 3 or 4 rappers.
It was like the get down.
Yeah, like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But it changed. You know what I'm saying, during the 80s, you still had to,
Yeah.
10 DJs, and after a while, everybody want to be an MC.
Yep. That phase.
That's switch. So then you got 4 MCs, 5 MCs, and 2 DJs. So that's with us. So in Queens, we took up MCing, rapping.
Yeah.
And
So there's one point I wanted to get back to.
Mhm.
So you mentioned that, and I think this is really interesting, that you grew up in a neighborhood where everyone knew you because they knew your family, and then you guys stand out because you have albinism.
Sure.
But everybody knows you guys. And
Right.
for me, it wasn't like that in the neighborhood, but it was always like that in school.
Okay.
Yeah, like when you
Yeah.
go to school, you're the only kid with
Only
albinism
kid.
in that
Yeah.
school.
Right.
So everybody's like, oh, I know that's
The
there.
whole school.
That's-
Out of
right.
all the
Right.
grades.
Right.
You gonna tell me ain't nobody else here?
See, with us, it was 2 of us.
Yeah.
You had that support. So.
Oh, yeah,
And what
definitely.
was crazy about it, when you come from Brooklyn, from Bedford-Stuyvesant, you better know how to fight.
I think that's anywhere.
Okay? No, some places
So you had to fight a lot because of your
had
albinism.
to. Had to.
And you said you did too, right?
Yeah, I had to fight a lot.
You already know the vibes. So
Had to too.
So once you know how to defend yourself, when your friend
Yeah.
might want to mess with you.
Get that respect.
So
That's
was
a
it
fact.
like you had to do the fights yourself, or you had friends and family that
No,
also?
you gonna fight for yourself. My
That's
father's like this. You know how some people raise bulldogs.
Yeah.
Let him go. Let him go. Either you gonna win or you gonna lose.
Right.
It's interesting. I think I'm like the only one here that never had to.
He's
never
literally
had
the
to
only
fight.
one here.
Hey,
that
that's
never
a lesson.
fought.
Because like with me, I don't know. I just like I was bullied a lot.
Sure.
Definitely, but it
It's crazy. I never went to school with him, so I could like defend him. Like you feel me? Like the older we got out here in the street, like now to this day, I defend him. You feel me? But like growing up, I've never like
Had to.
Yeah, we never went
'cause
to the
we-
same
Yeah,
school.
we never went to
Right.
the same school.
You know.
We never like lived close.
and like the neighborhood. See, and then this is the thing is like when I was growing up, I was born in New York, but by the
Manhattan?
time. No, not Queens.
Okay.
But by the time I started to
Queens?
transition into like 6th grade and I started to turn 12, my mom moved us to the South. And the South is
Oh,
not on the same time
Nah,
as New York.
no.
No.
So
No,
right,
no,
so
yeah.
so I think that's probably the biggest reason why I never really had to fight people in
Yeah.
the neighborhood
Right.
because of my albinism. Because I technically grew up in a neighborhood in the South because I was 12 when we first went to Virginia.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Under 12, you're not really, everybody's your kids, so everybody's
yeah,
playing
yeah.
with everybody.
Right.
You
Then you
know,
can pass for white.
Yeah, that too, that too.
Which it has
That too.
advantages.
Yeah.
That too. So by the time I was like of the age where going outside and having to fight a nigga because he looked at you wrong or something like that, by the time I was at that age where that kind of stuff would happen, I was already living in the South where it's a lot calmer down there. It's
Right,
not as
right,
violent and aggressive.
And they
But
take
you
you in.
don't look as aggressive.
Yeah.
Right.
Virginia
That's
itself
true.
is racist,
yeah.
but you don't look the part. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're the 12-year-old. Is he white? Is he black?
I'm not. When I'm right,
Yeah.
But you know what? He's not aggressive. So
Yeah,
leave him alone.
It's good, you know? Yeah.
He's a cool white boy.
Yeah, exactly. He's a white boy.
White boy.
That's probably what it was.
Right.
And to be honest, if I would have lived in New York my entire life,
Oh, you
and
was scrapped.
Long story.
I probably would have had to.
You
Right, you had no
definitely was
choice.
I
scrapped.
probably would have had to
Right.
fight.
Yeah,
but
it definitely-
luckily, I've never had
Oh,
that.
That's
Right.
a blessing.
Nah, that
Yeah.
is. That is.
Now, what's crazy, right? What's crazy? It's really crazy because by me and my brother doing music, oh God, every summer, I kid you not,
Yeah.
my mother had to come home. If it wasn't 50, it was 100 girls. I gotta go.
Oh, so girls were all over y'all because y'all
did
did music.
When you did the
Did the albinism also increase that because you did music and you looked different?
Right, I looked different, and then, and then back in the day, you can remember we had afros.
Oh yeah. Oh, see now, explain that to the people because
Okay.
they may you're a lot older, so you grew up in a different time
You
frame
grew up
than
in a
us.
6. I was born in 1963.
Yo, you're older than my mother.
Okay,
God damn.
63. So this is the age of afros and
Yeah,
house of the
disco.
people.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine two albino guys. Excuse me, albino is a very derogatory term.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah, it is. It's like
I
calling a
feel the
brother
same
man.
way. I
That's
feel the
like
same
calling a
way.
man-
I feel
that's calling a
that's
brother
like you
man.
calling me a nigga.
Oh come on,
I feel
real
like
talk.
that.
That's not.
Real
Because
talk.
I look
What
like
you
say, Avery. What you think, Avery?
I say, you know, like I call, like if I fucks with you, you feel me? What's good, my nigga? Like,
No,
Right, that's
we
cool.
ain't
Yeah.
talking about
That's
that.
cool.
We talking about the word
I'm
albino.
talking about-
It's derogatory.
I said because I have albinism. I'm not an albino.
Right.
What is an albino?
Right, that's a derogatory
Like we're not a
term.
race of people.
All right, so now let's talk about
Makes
that.
sense.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, you
So-
one of them albinos? What you mean?
Right,
I'm one of
what?
those.
Right.
Because now I'm about to fight you.
Right,
But see,
but
I think-
But if you look at the word, albino, everything is derogatory. You would use every
No,
kind
you
of.
talking about like
mom
if you talking about if
say that,
I pull it up in the
Pull it
Webster
up.
dictionary.
Like if you
Hold
look
up.
at an animal,
Yeah.
they say that's an albino tiger.
Right.
That's an albino alligator. So you
Right.
an albino human?
No.
You an albino black man?
Right.
You an albino Puerto Rican?
Right.
Like
It's
what
derogatory.
you mean?
You know, but
We have albinism. We ain't like
Yeah.
See,
Right.
this is how I always took the word albino. I always took the word albino as it's just an abbreviation,
Yeah.
right? It's just a shorter way to say albinism. I always took it like that. So albinism.
I feel like it works in our community because we can say that to one another
Right.
because we have an understanding of what it is
Yeah.
that we
But
go through. in the
outside
daily.
of
But
us,
people outside of us, it's like,
Right.
yo, you one of those albinos?
Right.
Or
Yeah,
no, you
I know,
albino.
yeah.
Yo,
Because
you
I ain't saying
albino.
that. Yeah,
No,
that's
no, I'm Ty. I'm not albino. Like, yo,
I never felt offense to that though.
Well,
You know
it
what I'm
is.
saying?
Nah, but when he explained, when they just broke it down like
Yeah, I mean,
now
the way-
it
the way
makes
you
sense.
described
feel me?
it,
like,
yeah,
so,
it's like-
because I'm like,
so
what you
now
mean?
I'm be on the fence, like, say that again.
Right.
Say that again. Like, you
Right.
feel me?
Because you
Like,
don't, because already what it does is you put a wedge between me as a person. You don't see the person. You just say you were one of those.
Yeah.
And what is one of those if you really don't understand what albinism is?
Right.
But could
It's
it
smart,
be,
y'all.
But see, could it
Follow
be?
him. Get his social media and follow him, like all his pics.
But could it possibly be that sometimes people just take too much offense to labels in general? You know what I'm saying? Like
Say that too.
you can say
Yeah.
that about anything. Like somebody who's
Nah,
a
people is
homosexual.
sensitive, yeah.
No, listen. Like
People is
somebody who's a
sensitive.
homosexual will say, "Oh well, don't put me in that box of
Well, nowadays you
homosexuals.
can't call nobody a
I'm
You
John."
can't say that.
You
'cause-
can't say
You know what I'm saying?
faggot nowadays.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
because
you
that's
could.
a disrespectful
Yeah, yeah.
word.
Well, you
so
could,
like,
you're supposed to.
albino
Yeah,
to me is
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
disrespectful.
what it is.
Yeah,
You
but
feel me?
but this is my point. My point is, no matter what the label is,
Yeah.
somebody will run away from that word. If somebody is a painter, they'll say, "Oh, don't call me a painter. Don't label me that. I'm an artist. I do
Okay.
any."
I think
You know what I'm
it's a
saying? Like
different
somebody,
context.
people are
I
really
think
like
I
that's
would
a
that.
say
different context. That's a different context. Because I'm like, yo,
don't
if
give
you
him
don't
out.
know,
You give him
I've never
easy way
heard
out.
somebody use the word albino who doesn't have albinism in a way where it's like,
Positive.
you're one of those albinos.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's like no,
Right.
like.
Right.
But you've been
you know, it's
passed
what it
around
is.
like, yo, you got you albino.
But no, it's interesting to hear you guys' perspectives because before you guys brought this perspective to us, me and Avery would have this discussion.
Yeah.
We'd be like, "Yo, we don't find it offensive.
They
Albino,
were just-
albinism,
yeah,
whatever."
It was like,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like, I
'cause
don't
I
care.
knew they didn't know the definition behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people that lack the knowledge of us. You feel me? They say something that they can get the concept of.
Right. So that's why when people
that's
say
why
it
you
to
gotta
me,
dumb it down.
I correct them now.
But all right, all the time you ain't got patience to do that. So you just like, all right, whatever. All right, cool. That's me.
All right, so now let me ask you guys this.
You just run with it.
That's true.
What if it's not like a pointing out thing, like, oh, he's albino? What if someone comes up to you and says, are you albino?
See, me in those situations, I always embrace ignorance. I like ignorance.
But you
when
correct
when it's presented in that manner.
Right.
Like when
do you correct them?
Yeah, I correct it. And I tell you, I'm not one of those.
Right.
I have albinism.
That's how you do it.
And how do you
This
address
is
it?
Same way.
Same way.
I'm okay. And I tell them it's a derogatory term. I prefer you to say a person with albinism. Real.
Yeah, I'd rather you say that.
sorry.
I'd rather you say that so you can understand.
Yeah.
Because it's like I can't really be mad when you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But you gotta
But
get
at
that.
the same time,
yeah.
I've grown up 31 years hearing this, being called all different types
Right.
of white and this and that, and it's
Right.
like, listen,
Right.
don't add another thing to me. Don't add another
Yeah,
label to me.
right,
Don't
right.
add another something else to
Yeah.
me that doesn't define me.
Right.
Like don't misdefine me.
Yeah.
Like I have albinism. This is what I'm a black man with albinism. Because at the end of the day, the police is not gonna say, "Hey, you albino, keep walking." Nah, they're gonna throw me up against the wall just like any other
Everybody
brother.
else.
You know what I'm saying? So don't hit me with the I'm albino. Yes, I get a pass. Nah, I don't get no pass. These lips don't give me no pass. This nose don't give me no pass.
It's a fact, though.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's interesting, because that was another question that I always wanted to ask other people with albinism, and it's funny because all of these episodes I did, I haven't brought up that question yet.
Sure. But again, like a lot of people, like he says, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
So I gotta give you a pass.
Right.
But what you can do is you gotta remember in this age of Google, Siri, Amazon,
Right.
whatever, you
That's
go right
a
to
fact, too.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you
what
ain't
is
gonna this ain't
what is
95.
Africa?
What's an albino?
Yeah,
This ain't
And it's
95.
gonna treat you back something.
Right.
Okay,
So
it's no
check on
excuse.
Wikipedia.
So now let me ask you this: since you're an older gentleman, was there ever a transition of how albinos were treated back in the 70s and the 80s versus now?
Sure.
What's that
You know what it was? Even like back in the day, if you didn't have the moral support from your family, they hit you in the closet somewhere. Okay, in the basement.
He felt that.
But wait, describe what you're saying metaphorically.
No, they're not. You're not going to see that person with albinism.
Okay, so meaning like back in the day, if a person had albinism, they would shelter themselves more.
No,
Stay in
family would shelter them too.
Oh, the family would shelter.
Okay,
Oh,
or even themselves.
okay.
Because they look at it as not being pretty or as not being
As being
accepted.
unattractive, yeah.
Right, and then if you got people who are very ignorant
Yeah.
and don't have the know-how to really say, this is a person with albinism or an albino. Oh God, I hate this. I don't even like saying it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, it's like put them away somewhere. Don't. Company comes out, don't bring him out.
That's crazy too,
That's-
because during those times you didn't have different programs like the NOAA,
Right.
Lighthouse, or different
Right.
things like that. Because
Right.
I didn't know.
Commission for the Blind.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were other people who have albinism until I went to the Lighthouse. And when I went there, I finally seen somebody else who looks like me. So
Yeah.
therefore, for me, I was like, wow, there's somebody else who can. So
Relate.
if I see Dale and Dale says, "Yo, I understand," I know you understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you ain't
Yeah.
auntie such and such. Like, baby, I understand.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
no, you don't understand.
Right,
Like,
right.
what you mean you
Can you
understand?
stop lying to me, please? Like,
You don't understand.
So now you mentioned that there would be times where even the family would say, okay, if company comes over, don't bring him out of
Don't
his
bring him
room.
out, right? And it's sad, but it's crazy. See, when we went to school, we had a special class. No, I'm saying like in elementary school, you had one class you go to. So while I was going to this class, we saw other people with albinism.
So you went to a school that was based around
Every school.
vision problems.
Right, every school that we went to.
Well, okay.
Every school, even elementary school, they back then they gave us more support.
Okay.
You know, they funded more programs.
Okay.
You know, so we had a class. Let's say if you got 8 periods, one of those periods, you got that class you can go to. If you got to do homework, you can't see it. They got special machines, or there's a teacher in there that'll help you.
Yeah, the extra.
Right.
Yeah.
Help you.
So resource room.
So tell us how that transition
is.
How's that transition now?
Now they don't have that. I don't think.
Mm.
You know, I don't think they really have like the support system that they had back in the
It's not as strong.
70s and the 80s. You know what I'm saying? For people, they're not just people with albinism, people with vision problems.
Right.
Okay, or if you got ADHD,